Like, I see where she came from. She keeps building herself up.
This is something I've always dreamt of doing, using boxing to get to kids that need it, because I was one of those kids. My city needs me. These kids need me. My biggest strive now is to that kid in the gym that's training hard every day. Listen, go to school, could break generational curses. That's what I'm trying to do. For people that look like me, people that been through the trenches like me, single moms or moms in general, women, there should never be a limit to what you're doing. This is about survival, to rise above. There is no limit. I never saw a limit in my life. I never saw an obstacle I couldn't overcome. Every year it just has to be better than the last, and I truly feel like there's no limit to me.
Hey, what's up? I'm Grady Diaz, and I'm here at the Giants training facility to talk to Victor Cruz about his Hispanic heritage, and we might even get him to salsa a little bit. Let's roll. I'm here with Victor Cruz, one of the greatest wide receivers in Giants history, Super Bowl champion.
And the Giants have won Super Bowl 46!
And he's known for his salsa dance celebration, which we all love.
And he does the salsa.
You grew up in Paterson, New Jersey, which is only about 10 miles away from here. It's a majority-minority community, mostly Hispanic. What was that like for you growing up there?
It was incredible. Like, you know, the Puerto Rican culture, or Hispanic culture in general, is always just fun. It's a very community-driven area. Like, if they didn't see your grandparents or your parents around, they were your parents. So, you know, I try to do that with everything that I do now.
Oh, number one salsa dancer in the league!
How does it feel to know that you inspire so many kids that look like you?
It's incredible. I mean, you know, I want people to look at me and look at my career, both on and off the field, as an inspiration.
You bring your daughter along with you when you volunteer and give back to the community.
Because I just want her to see not only all the cool stuff that Daddy does and all the trips and all the fun stuff that we do, I want you to see the trenches and see where I came from and see what type of people need our help. One thing about my daughter, she's not gonna be shy about dancing. Like, she loves dancing. She loves showing her personality, showing her energy. You can see how it's embedded in her. I'm not pushing her out to dance. I gotta pull her off the dance floor. Set, hut. That was good. We won the Super Bowl, baby.
Now, you mentioned Abuela, your grandmother, and my grandmother was a salsa queen. That's how I learned how to salsa.
Yep.
So what were those moments like for you, when you were with your grandmother learning?
It was spontaneous. Like, you just never knew when they were gonna happen. So I'd be sitting down watching TV with my grandfather. All of a sudden, music comes on. My grandmother would immediately grab me off the sofa. And my grandfather he'd be vibing, but he'd be like unfazed. Meanwhile, we're just spinning and doing everything in the living room. But it was just that energy, right? Even on days where I didn't feel like dancing, I was like, this is useless. She was like, you're gonna appreciate this when you're like 17, 18 years old. And I did. And I still do, obviously.
It's definitely paid off too,
yeah,
right?
For sure.
With no music too.
Who needs music? Who needs music? Mm-hmm.
What were some of your favorite meals growing up that your mom Blanca made for you?
My mom, my grandmother too. We made, everything was on that table, whether it was Thanksgiving or January 17th. I'm being fed that energy each and every day.
Are you able to throw any of these down in the kitchen?
No. Unfortunately, well, that's also part of the culture, right? Little boy trying to go in the kitchen and figure out what's to eat, they kick you out. So I only got the call up the stairs when the food was ready.
Can you tell me what that was like for you, that moment you started to lean into who you are?
It was so organic, like it was genuinely me. Mm-hmm. But it was almost like I invented the salsa in some places. Like, people would come up to me and ask me to dance, or just, whether we're in the supermarket or whether I'm in the end zone, like, they still want to see it. It's just a beautiful thing to know that what I did, a small gesture of me dancing in the end zone, can affect thousands and millions of people and have an entire demographic tune into a sport that they may not have tuned into before.
Turns out, caffeine can be tasty. Tasty caffeine is the new standard. With 17 flavors to choose from, find your flavor today.
know, we come from rich cultures. We come from strong family dynamics. And he was like, yo, let's come together and let's break out something that hasn't been done before for the people who look just like us, right? We gravitate to colors, we gravitate to structure and to cut, to build. Garza Couture launched 2016 in November, and we've been taking off ever since. They say it's a stereotype for black men that we only wear suits for funeral dates or court dates. We wanted to change that. We wanted to be able to provide suiting for anyone, for anything. You know, now we're doing proms. You know, we've done over 500 weddings since we launched, and I'm talking global, you know. We've been blessed to just be able to have people walk through our door and trust us with the biggest days of their lives, you know. A lot of it just comes from inspiration. Always traveling the world, just being inspired by color, being inspired by structure of buildings, and just using those as an emphasis to use as a metaphor, right? Highlighting something like, for example, this is something that we'll be releasing this fall and the winter. You seeing this, people are gonna stop you. They're always gonna say, wow, you look amazing. This is one of those pieces that is like an unlimited piece that'll give you compliments and that'll make you feel, you know, elevated. You know, so that's like, these are the pieces that we like to highlight and just have people step outside the box. You know, this is not something that you can just walk into a regular store and get. These are Illy and Gillies. I'm Illy, my business partner, Gilly. We wanted to create a shoe that has a blue bottom. The blue represents the Caribbean Sea, right? So when we talk about empowering the black dollar, the Caribbean Sea is pretty much an emphasis on that, right? So our clients are from Dominican Republic, they're from Jamaica, Trinidad, like from all over the Caribbean islands. And so we wanted to just be able to have them walk on water. I fell in love with basketball, like junior high school. I played high school ball, been a Knicks fan since I was a little kid. Like, that was the first thing. My dad would take us to the games. On TV, it would be like Jordan versus Ewing, like one of those things. I always gravitated towards the Knicks because I'm a New Yorker. When I was in graphic design, one of my dreams was to like design for the NBA. Like, I want to get a job at the NBA. Fast forward, now I'm dressing Joel Embiid. These are things that just being in that circle really empowers me on a day-to-day basis. My drive comes from my culture. Garifuna people, we don't take no for an answer. We just come from tough beginnings, you know. We come from poverty, but we're so talented, and a lot of times we don't get the opportunities because people don't give us the opportunity, so we just make way. We make doors, you know. I've learned to, if you say no to me, I'm gonna find somebody that's gonna say yes. And then when that person says yes, you're gonna regret that you said no.
Boom! DraftKings Casinos combining two things I love, touchdowns and bonus rounds. We're going deep with 1,000 slots and counting. We're talking spin moves everywhere. Jackpot, baby!
Get a free chance at $3,000 every day in credits. DraftKings Casino, the crown is yours.
Shopping, working, and relaxing online can attract various digital threats. To improve your protection against them, just turn on NordVPN. This cybersecurity app will block web trackers and malware-infected sites. It will also encrypt your internet traffic without losing a smooth connection. Get the deal now. NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day.
There's 10 million spins up for grabs on Hard Rock Bet Casino.
And we gotta tell everyone.
Hard Rock Bet's giving away 10 million spins!
What? Yes, literally 10 million.
It's insane.
Oh, gotta go. More spins has dropped.
Woo! 10 million spins on Hard Rock Bet! Oh, hey, Glenn.
Millions of spins.
Who wants cake?
I know.
My masterpiece.
10 million bonus spins up for grabs. New players get a $1,000 deposit match plus a $25 casino bonus just for signing up.
At AirShare, we believe the journey is just as important as the destination. When you're traveling to close the next deal for your company, or planning a special getaway with the company you love the most, you should be flying private. And whether your needs are aircraft management, fractional ownership, jet cards, or charter, AirShare is always the right choice. We fit the way you fly.
Stop dreaming of better sleep and start experiencing it. Find your perfect sleep solution today at Raymore and Flanagan. Visit our sleep center to get a $25 reward card when you take a free mattress comfort test. Try all the top brands like Tempur-Pedic, Beautyrest, Sealy, Serta, and more. Plus, get a free adjustable base with a regularly priced in-store mattress purchase of $9.95 or more. Our convenient financing plans allow you to buy now and pay later. Unlock your best sleep at Raymore and Flanagan.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back. We're so excited.
Absolutely. The Rock is going to be jumping. Wow. This place has erupted.
I was going to ask at the beginning, because I'm like, I was about to say, how much more we got? Because I'm sitting here devouring this food.
Good girl. Oh my God, how are you? Welcome home. Shannon,
Hi.
hey, good to see you.
You too. Thanks
I'm
for
so happy
having
to
us.
have you guys. Have a seat.
Thanks.
So you know that this is your home away from home, okay? So let's talk about food. You know, when I think about food, especially soul food, and I think about Harlem and community, these are some of the dishes that speak to me. And Shannon, I know that you have Caribbean roots.
Yep.
So you know I had to throw down on some oxtails today, okay? Threw a little plantains over there and some peas and rice, or rice and peas, depending on where you're coming from. Catfish. You know, you're talking about catfish, you're talking about soul, you're talking about the earth. But more importantly, we're talking about things that evoke warm memories, right? So let's talk about food. What food sticks out to you, and what memory does it relate to?
Thank you very much. For me, I love soul food. You know, just growing up, obviously, you know, my parents are from St. Louis, so we always go to St. Louis for holidays, Christmas, stuff like that, and we'll go, and it was always, you know, buffalo fish, you know, mac and cheese, collard greens, yams, all, you know, everything that you can kind of think of. So that's kind of what started, and then obviously when my dad liked Caribbean food a little bit growing up, so it had some of that, and then obviously me and Shannon, her family being from Trinidad, you know, it kind of sparked my love for Caribbean food. Even more. I love curry goat. That's like one of my favorite meals. So that's kind of, you know, how I started with, you know, soul food and Caribbean food, and that's kind of like my favorite food.
See, mine is a little bit opposite. So growing up, our holidays were oxtail, curry goat, mac and cheese, all that type of stuff. So it's kind of in the ballpark of soul food, but it's just like a little twist, a Caribbean twist. So that's really what it reminds me of.
Well, when you come to Melba's, you're going to see a little bit of that, you know, regardless if you're from the Caribbean, or even if you're from Africa. Peas and rice were very, very indigenous to Africa. And Shannon, when you said collard greens, girl, you talking about callaloo.
Exactly, callaloo.
Same family.
Exactly.
So I want you guys to dig in a little bit, okay? And we're gonna start with the Caribbean plate for my sister right here. Okay.
I'm gonna start with this.
Oh, you gonna start with that? Okay, go for it. Go for it.
Talk to me a little bit. Obviously, being in Harlem, and just talk about the culture here. Obviously, you know, you guys speak to culture through food.
Totally.
So just kind of talk about your experience being.
Welcome into Giants Postgame Live, brought to you by Hackensack Meridian Health. Together, we can tackle kids' cancer. Coming to you live from the top of Section 144 at MetLife Stadium. My name is Madeline Burke, alongside the Super Bowl champion Sean O'Hara. Sean, Sunday Night Football, the home opener for these New York Football Giants, but unfortunately, it was a loss. 22-9 is the final score in favor of the Kansas City Chiefs. Sean, what is your immediate takeaway from this one?
So disappointing. It's frustrating. It's all these different ambrosia of emotions right now as Giants fans pour out of here and do that same drive home that they have gotten too used to over the last couple of years. And there was so much leading up to this game. The Giants home opener, the fireworks, the pregame was electric. Brandon Jacobs down there getting this crowd fired up. And, I mean, this place, you could feel the energy. You could feel it. And everybody was expecting the Giants offense to just pick up right where they left off last week against the Dallas Cowboys. They scored 37 points. All right, they're going to attack this Kansas City Chiefs defense. And it felt like tonight the definition was missed opportunities. And offensively, the first drive, they ran the ball 7 times in that first drive. You could tell they wanted to get the run game going. They wanted to be physical. And it looked like a great start. And then they get down to 4th down, and they go for it. Now, a lot of people in the stands here didn't know. Why are they going for it on 4th and 3? Why aren't they kicking the field goal?
Right.
Well, 5 minutes before the game starts, Graham Gano tweaks his groin and now can't kick. So now all of a sudden, Dable hears, look, you don't have your kicker. Totally changes everything from the get-go. And in a game where points were going to be a struggle, those field goals early on could have really helped out. So what a tough night offensively. You know, I think we all expected a lot more. We expected more production. We expected more points. And I thought the offense, you know, they came up short. There was a lot. It felt like they were pressing. I felt like Russell Wilson made some throws that they were borderline double coverage. And it was like, hey, I'm going to try to make something happen. I'm going to put the ball possibly in harm's way, and hopefully somebody makes a big play.
And it ended up with a couple interceptions for him. Yeah.
Defensively, look, I thought they did a great job. I mean, you holding Mahomes in check. Like, they did not get gashed. They didn't give up the big play. They were getting after Mahomes. They were getting pressure. I thought defensively, though, the ball literally slipped through their hands. Tyler Nubin had a chance to intercept the ball in the end zone. Bobby Okereke had a chance to scoop up that backward lateral, and who knows, maybe he scores, or maybe if he falls on it, the ball is now on the 5-yard line. So defensively, those opportunities for turnovers and takeaways that could have led to points, you've got to capitalize on them. And so this game, I feel like, slipped through the defenses and the offense's fingers, literally.
Right, and you got to start with the beginning, right? That opening drive, it looked like the Giants offense was moving down the field. They established the run early, which was a point of emphasis this week going into this game. You want to get the run game going, but to your point, when you get to 4th and 3 and normally would settle for a field goal, and Gano is not in the game, he did come back in the second half, was able to kick a field goal for the Giants in the second half, but missed the first half. We saw the punter, Jamie Gillen, come in to kick a PAT for the Giants in the first half.
And we saw that same scenario last year, week 2, was Washington. Graham Gano hurts his hamstring on the opening kickoff, and Gillen comes in, tries to kick the extra point, doesn't work. So now you're automatically handcuffed right out of the gate.
Right. Automatically handcuffed right out of the gate. You don't end up with points on that opening drive, and not only is that discouraging on the scoreboard, but also momentum-wise when you get down the field that way and you can't convert it to a score.
Yeah, it makes it tough. And look, like I said, the Giants fans were here. They were ready to rock. They had been properly hydrated in the parking lot leading up to this game. They were here early. They were ready to rock. They were looking for something to celebrate.
Yes.
Yeah, all the libations were in full effect. And you know, you got to give them something. You got to give them something to get happy about and to cheer about and to celebrate. And I thought not getting points right there out of the gate, I think that kind of muffled a lot of that positivity and that enthusiasm. You know, it was a great 1-2 punch. Tyrone Tracy was doing a great job. Cam Scadaboo was kind of the hammer. You know, and then, of course, Tyrone Tracy gets hurt as well, and now that kind of changes things too. But, you know, Scadaboo, I mean, that guy, look, everybody loves him. He plays physical, downhill. He had some really nice runs, including the touchdown run that he had.
Cam Scadaboo proved to be a trusted target for Russell Wilson tonight, not only in the passing game and in the running game as well. He led the Giants in rushing and in receiving tonight. 10 attempts for 60 yards rushing and 8 targets, 6 receptions, 61 yards as well in the passing game. So great attribute for this Giants team as well. All right, we've got more show coming up. We're going to continue to break this one down, Giants Postgame Live. But first, want to remind you guys, Giants fans, join us at the Ultimate Women's Tailgate presented by Joe Malone. The ticketed event takes place Sunday, September 28th from 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. before the Week 4 home game against the Los Angeles Chargers. Join me and Giants legends and a lot of your favorite female sports fans. Scan the QR code on your screen or visit giants.com/women's tailgate to learn more. Giants Postgame Live brought to you by Hackensack Meridian Health. Together we can tackle kids' cancer. Returns after this.
Look closely at this truck. You'll see hard work, a great adventure, and so much more. Inside and out, it's designed for the family, the road trip, and the most demanding job. The Ford F-150. It's time to see Ford in a new light. Right now, returning lessees can lease a Ford F-150 for $319 a month for 36 months, only at your local Ford stores.
For 10 years, donations to tackle kids' cancer have made a big difference in the lives of so many kids. So, instead of sending thank you cards, I'm sending thank you footballs. Thanks, Alex. Thanks, Amanda. Thanks, Arthur. You can be the next to make a difference. Donate now to make our 10th year our biggest yet. From me to you, thanks.
Any further thoughts?
I think I need to do more with my money. Should I still be renting? I live with my mom. How much should I save for my kids' tuition?
What kids?
How early is early retirement? How much is in your 401k?
All my money's in checking.
What does the K stand for?
Ben, what's on your mind?
Could I be doing more with my money?
Let's look at where you're at and talk new goals.
Make sense of your money with Citizens.
Get 1.9% APR for up to 48 months on the purchase of select new 2026 Sportage models.
Ladies and gents, this is the moment you've waited for.
Hanging out with Quentin Williams, like, what's the vibe? Got some big guests out there. He's unbelievable. You look like 2014 Russell Wilson. Highest paid corner.
I haven't even got paid yet.
I love the NFL. Can't wait to see what happens in this one.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to New York Rangers hockey. Rebound, what a stop! Short-handed goal. He scores! Just before the buzzer. Rangers win.
Today's scoring drive of the game is brought to you by Citizens, the official bank of the New York Football Giants. Citizens is made for Giants fans, and for every scoring drive this season, Citizens will donate $750 to the Giants Foundation to support their work tackling important community issues, improving overall health, and empowering our youth. For the drive of the game, we take you to the second quarter of this one. Russell Wilson hands it off to Cam Scattaboo, gets some yardage there. The Chiefs have back-to-back penalties, roughing the passer and holding. That puts the Giants at the 13, and Scat says, let's just get all the way to the end zone, why don't we? Scores the tud. Jamie Gillen would come on for the PAT, but would miss it.
And wait for it. There it is.
Hit him with a backflip. This one ties the game at 6. Cam Scattaboo, his second career touchdown for the rookie running back. 8 plays, 70 yards, 3 minutes and 40 seconds off the clock, capped with a 13-yard rushing touchdown. Is your scoring drive of the game, presented by citizens. Welcome back to Giants Postgame Live, brought to you by Hackensack Meridian Health. Together we can tackle kids' cancer. Madeline Burke, the Super Bowl champion, Sean O'Hara, the two-time Super Bowl champion, Carl Banks joining us on the set, coming down from the radio booth. Banks, thanks so much for
Good
stopping
hustle,
by.
CD.
Thank you for having me on. Sean was like, here we go again. I'm like, I hope not. It's one of, you look at this statistically, the stat junkies will either weigh one way or the other, but it really came down to who made the plays, right? The Giants defensively improved, but they didn't make the plays, right? Adebo had his hands on 2 interceptions. Bobby Okereke scoops a backwards pass only to have it taken away.
Right
before the half, and then it gets you nothing. And then Adebo drops an interception, and then they go in and score. But these are the difference in levels of teams. Like Brian Burns had a hell of a game. Like, they did a lot of things, but it doesn't really matter.
And here's the play that you mentioned, Carl. Of course, they get the sack or the pressure on Mahomes. He loses the ball. Okereke almost comes up with it. Doesn't.
Dave Belton had a chance at it first.
Yeah.
And if either one of those guys just falls on the ball, boom, all of a sudden you're going to score.
That's
because that sudden change, you're going to score a touchdown.
A missed opportunity, because on that drive, then they're trying to get pressure on Mahomes. But of course, elusive as he always is, gets out of it, sends it down the field, and then they end up with a 52-yard defensive pass interference.
Yeah, and I think someone said that they should have let him catch it and let the clock run out, but that just doesn't happen that way on a broken play. Like, you're not thinking in a broken play, how much time is on the clock? Let me tackle him and run the clock out. You're like, I can't afford to allow a touchdown. So, but it's just, it's Kansas City and it's New York Giants. New York Giants if you had any chance of winning this game, you had to come up with those types of plays. Giants ran the ball well, but it didn't look like they controlled the line of scrimmage, right? They had no answers in the pass game for every coverage that legislated against the deep ball from Spags. They just didn't have a counter for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we're seeing these plays right now. I mean, look, the Giants' defensive line came to play. I mean, like you said, Brian Burns was all over the place. Kayvon Thibodeau, I mean, he was wrecking shop. Abdul Carter was kind of inside a little bit more, so you didn't see as much of an impact from him. But
we did see him get a sack, though.
Yeah, this Giants pass rush was the lifeline of this team right now. But even they could only do so much. Like even when they rushed Mahomes, it was keep him in the pocket. They did a good job of that, and then the protection broke down because it's hard. It's hard to cover for 5 or 6 seconds. The Giants right now could very well be 2-1. So this is not a bad team. So for those of you that are walking out of the stadium right now, or you're watching this game at home, like this, and when you start off with saying, "Here we go again," no, this is a different team. Like this team is better,
and it's hard.
They're just not finding ways to win.
Right.
They're finding ways to give the game to the other team.
It's, again, we talk about levels of competition, right? They're not there yet, and as you say, they're not a bad team. They're a better team. But you can't convince anybody of that because they see the score.
Yeah.
And then the level of competition that they're playing right now is preventing anyone from seeing it unless you're looking through the eyes of someone who's been on the ascent. Or you can actually look inside and say, this is getting better, this has to improve. But when you're playing Super Bowl caliber teams, you got to come up with those turnovers.
Right, and even though this is a Chiefs team that was struggling to start the season, came into Sunday Night Football 0-2 in the record, they still are a team. Good teams find ways to win, and they were able to do that.
And I don't think this was a get-right game for them because they struggled to get what they got. You know, the Giants made life difficult, so it wasn't like they hit all cylinders when they got it was a field goal game.
Yeah.
For a very long time.
Yeah, Harrison Butker was earning his game check in this one. Missed one early on, but it was a lot of field goal kicking early on in this one. But the Chiefs did end up figuring it out and getting the win 22-9. But for another perspective on this one, let's send it down to the field. Paul Dottino and Brandon London are standing by. Guys, what did you see?
Leaving this building very disappointed, Madeline. When you talk about the turnover situation, and every coach will tell you that is critical in terms of giving yourselves a chance to win the game. The one really deadly turnover for the Giants was the throw by Wilson into the right corner of the end zone. It was short for Malik Neighbors, which was intercepted, and that wound up turning into some Chiefs points.
Yeah, it was unfortunate because you wanted to try and put some sort of points on the board there. You wanted to try and get that moon ball up and over for Malik Neighbors to kind of run up under it and then maybe to get some sort of toe drag swag in the back of the end zone. But I feel as though the ball was so severely underthrown that it was hard for him to kind of play defender. That's what Mike Sullivan, our former wide receiver coach, used to say. If you can't get it, no one should be able to get it. But it's hard to put your foot back into the ground and slap the ball down. And then on the other side of the football, the defensive side, there's a couple of times the Giants could have got their hands on the football, but they didn't finish it, Paul. And they're going to be extremely upset with themselves when they watch the tape.
Yeah, Okirike had a chance at a fumble recovery deep in KC territory, tried to pick it up, and Mahomes got it back. But now on that ensuing drive, the Chiefs wind up picking up a really rough PI penalty on Drew Phillips. And that turned into points that gave Kansas City a 9-6 lead at halftime. That's a tough call that can go either way.
Yeah, you can call it ticky-tack, but you're going up against a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes, who he is going to throw the ball up there and hope something good happens with his wide receiver. I thought Drew Phillips did a great job of getting his hands back. He wasn't too handsy like some of the calls during the Cowboys game, but at the end of the day, these refs are going to call that anytime there's any question there, and that was an absolute backbreaker for the Giants defense because the Chiefs were able to get 3 points on the board and they got the ball back after halftime.
That's right. They get the double dip and go on a 11-play, 74-yard touchdown drive to open the third quarter to make it 16-6, and that's when you knew the Giants were in trouble. Now, finally, Graham Gano comes down with a sore groin before kickoff. The Giants are forced to go without him, although he did kick a short field goal late in the game. But that also causes a big problem for you, not only offensively making calls, but it changes how the defense is going to play you.
Absolutely. It changes the way if you want to be aggressive. And it's unfortunate that it happened right there, right during warm-ups, because it changes your game plan on how you're going to act or how you're going to call plays on that side of the 50-yard line. It was just a weird night for the Giants tonight, and it's just unfortunate, Paul.
Gano did warm up at halftime. By the way, it looked like 33 yards was about as long as he could possibly try it. He was limping after those attempts. That'll do it from down here. Let's go back upstairs to you guys.
Thanks so much, Paul Dottino, Brandon London, for the insight. We've got much more to break this one down, though. After the break, we're going to hear from the head coach and much more to come because Giants Postgame Live brought to you by Hackensack Meridian Health. Together we can tackle kids' cancer. Returns after this.
When you make your dip super creamy with almonds, your new boyfriend can know nothing about football.
Oh, he touched it down. Bro, that's the other team.
And still fit in just fine.
Have you tried the dip?
Oh, great fumble.
Great fumble? That's a Hail Mayo.
Now to get $7,500 EV lease incentive. Current lessees of an eligible competitive luxury brand vehicle get this low mileage lease on this Lyric Luxury One for around $529 per month.
Progress. It can be fast. It can be slow. It can be disruptive. But one thing it can't be is stopped. While progress might seem inevitable, breakthroughs come from supercharging it, delivering business outcomes at scale, fulfilling aspirations with compassion, innovating responsibly. Whether it's day-to-day success or transformational gains, we supercharge progress to change the game.
I think I stumbled into something. You're in a town run by the international cartels. You didn't take your family, did you?
Yeah. Guys, I'm not gonna fight you. I'm here on vacation.
Take him out.
I'm on vacation!
making memories.
Nobody but me.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Who am I? Wow, is that really me?
Hi, I'm Jonathan Greenhut, the CEO of Plexiderm. All it takes is 10 minutes to reduce the appearance of under eye bags, wrinkles, and crow's feet. The instant results are from naturally based silicates found in shell clay. Once applied, your skin tightens and firms. Take action with our Plexiderm 10-minute challenge. Try it today for only $14.95, plus get free shipping. Visit plexidermtrial.com or call the number on your screen.
Giants fans, it's Moody's. Decode risk, unlock opportunity. Learn more at moodys.com. Welcome back to Giants Postgame Live, brought to you by Hackensack Meridian Health. Together, we can tackle kids' cancer. Madeline Burke, Sean O'Hara, and Carl Banks here as the Giants fell to the Chiefs 22-9 on Sunday Night Football in the home opener. For more on this one, though, let's send it down to head coach Brian Daboll, who's stepping up to the podium now.
Okay. So I thought we battled defensively. Had a good plan. They made a couple nice plays there in the second half, but there's a lot of things improved defensively. Gave us a chance. Thought we did a good job in the kicking game and fell short offensively. We ran the ball much better. Our passing game was not good enough, particularly on third down. So we were like 1 of 10 on third down. That's hard to sustain drives and put points on the board. So, but I thought defensively we did some good things, and in the kicking game we did as well. Tracy's got a shoulder. Graham got hurt during the defensive introductions before the game. He was out there kicking and got a groin, so he couldn't go first half. And then he said he can kick from a certain distance in the second half. So that's about it. Not good enough.
Coach, what did you see in the way that they were playing in the secondary to limit Malik and Wandell's?
Yeah, I mean, they played a fair amount of split safety. So, we got a bunch of split safety last week. Just didn't get the job done this week with it.
Why do you think you couldn't get Malik the ball? He obviously didn't have a catch going into the fourth quarter there.
Yeah, we got to do a better job with that. No question about it.
What do you attribute that to? Game plan, quarterback?
Probably a collection of everything, Pat. Probably a collection of everything. Again, they were playing a lot of split safety coverage. They played it last week. Could be just a little bit different, but I'd say a collection of all that. We certainly got to do a better job with it.
Was the plan with Andrew Thomas, or did he?
Yeah, we were going to give him 25 plays, so that's what we gave him. And he came out, from what I understand, just fine. So that was the next step for the ramp up for him. Hopefully we'll be able to get some more this upcoming week.
How would you describe Russell Wilson's game tonight?
Yeah, I'd just say overall offensively, Connor, nothing was good enough. Coaching, playing, didn't do a good enough job. Everybody.
Brian, this is the second time you've had to play a game without a kicker.
Yeah.
Is it getting untenable to have that kicker when, it's...
Well, look, that's why Jamie kicks at practice too. I know they blocked that kick. We had a range for him as well, and him and Gunner had practiced before. But, just literally we're getting ready to go out for the anthem and saw him pull up on one of those kicks. So then we had to decide, what's the line now? The fourth downs change, throughout the game considerably. So we just had to, make sure we were dialed in with that. And then the second half, when he came back, there was another plan, but then we had two kickers. One was going to kick for a certain distance. The other one would kick a certain yard line in. So you got to do what you got to do.
The first series, it's safe to say you would go for the field goal there?
Would have, yeah.
Brian, I know this is harping on it again, but you guys spent so much time this offseason stressing the need to start fast.
Yeah.
To be 0-3, how do you describe that?
Yeah, that's not the goal, certainly. So, again, it's we got to put a complete game together, all three phases, offense, defense, special teams, coaching. We got to do all that. Again, I thought our defense responded in a positive manner. But you only score once. Not good enough.
And the rhyme or reason when you put Jackson in, and then you get down, it seems like 3rd and 4, deep in the red zone, would be a perfect time to put him in. You don't put him in, you run Russ on the zone. You're just trying to understand the thought process.
Yeah, I would say, look, we discussed a plan going into it, and Mike is in his flow of the game. I thought when he put him in and ran a couple of those zone reads, the first play we put him in was actually a pass, not a zone read. And then based on where we were on that particular play, where we got hit and lost a couple yards, there was a certain distance we were going to go for it. And we actually lost a yard, I think. And if we didn't get it, we didn't think we'd lose a yard on it, but we had a zone read on that play as well too. They just played it well, and he can run those.
Fans were. Go ahead, Chris. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, Dave. Were you thinking at all about maybe getting Jackson a series or two just to try to change up the tempo of the offense?
Yeah, I'd say, the plays we had him in, that's what we thought was best for him. And we'll continue to work with them and get them ready.
Right. Fans were calling for Jackson to get in the game, and then when you put Russell back in, they were booing him.
Yeah.
What would you say to the fan base that is calling for this rookie that you guys are obviously excited about, and they are too, after this offense looks like this?
Yeah. Look, Jackson's progressing well. We'll continue to work with him. I got a lot of confidence in him, his development that he's had. And that's what we'll continue to do. Look, I'd be booing too, to be honest with you, in terms of not being good enough. No, not scoring, not finishing. I understand that. That's the nature of it. We got to be better.
Brian, I know that Russell's been through a lot. He's seen a lot. He's endured a decent amount throughout his career. But I mean, every time he steps back on the field to come back in and he's getting booed, I mean, how does he take that? Do you have to say anything to him? I mean,
Yeah, no, I didn't have a conversation about that, and I don't think the coaches, the offensive coaches, they're talking on the sideline. They're looking at the plays that we just ran. They're going through the adjustments. They're talking about things that we should do the next series. That's where our focus has to be is looking at the things we got to improve on and do it.
Will you start next week, Russell?
Yeah, you guys have asked me about players after games. I'm not going to answer that.
Does not winning games, or like getting off to a slow start, change the approach? At least make you have to start thinking about, okay, when do we put our? Obviously, you invested a lot in Jackson. When do we put him in?
Yeah, like I said, we'll continue to work with Jackson, continue to develop him. He's done a nice job since he's been here, and again, we'll go back, we'll watch the tape, we'll sit down, we'll have our discussions like we normally have, and do what we think is best.
He's the number 2 quarterback, and this is 2 games now. The offense has been really bad. Like, at what point is Russ's performance dictate a decision strictly on Jackson's timeline?
Yeah, again, Dan, everybody's got to be better. We're not going to put this on one person. Everybody has to be better collectively. Again, the run game was a step in the right direction, but the pass game, particularly on 3rd down, when you're 1 of 10, that's tough sledding.
The connection between Russ and Scatterpool.
Well, he had some checkdowns. There was a couple play action passes where he dropped back, and Cam's a tough competitor. Thought he ran hard. Thought he did a good job in the passing game when he got the ball in his hands. He's a good young player.
I understand that I understand it's collective, it's the unit and everything, Brian. But if you replace a guard, it's very rare that that's going to ignite the offense. You replace a running back, it's probably not going to make a huge change. A quarterback has the ability to do that. Change a quarterback can ignite and kind of elevate everyone else. When do you have to start thinking about that or considering that if these struggles continue?
Yeah, again, Connor, look, it's on everybody. It takes 11 people to go out there and execute a play, a good call. It's everybody's involved in it. So we gotta keep working to get that better.
Do you think you guys had a good plan for what they did against you defensively?
Well, we didn't score hardly any points. So there's a lot of discussions on the sideline, trying different things. I thought the running game was well. They play a bunch of split safety. You got to be able to run the ball too, and make productive yards in that area. A third down, it wasn't good enough. So when you're 1 of 10, it's a combination of a lot of things, Dan.
In the first half, did the referees miss the face mask off? Did they talk to you about what they saw or didn't see on that?
Well, obviously they didn't see it because they didn't call it.
If Tracy, obviously, not knowing what his health is, if he can or can't go next week, how confident do you feel in Scatterwood based on what he did tonight?
Yeah, again, we'll see where Tracy's at. I have confidence in Scat, though.
Okay.
That sound from head coach Brian Daboll, brought to you by Ford, the official vehicle of the New York Giants. Guys, we heard Dave's talking about quite a few things that wasn't good enough, the struggles of putting points on the board, and especially the struggles on third down. Carl, when you look at the Giants being 1 for 10 on third down, how do you improve that?
That's literally the story of the game, but it's finding out how you can get the ball down the field, right? So, and they weren't all third and longs either. There were some third and shorts. There were third and eights. They were all a lot of manageable third downs that they were only able to get 1 out of 10, and that's just not acceptable. And if you look at the storyline here, it's that particular stat that is lopsided. Everything else, they were playing them neck and neck.
Neck and neck, and especially when you consider the passing game too. You've got, your best receiver, Malik Neighbors, doesn't get his first catch until the fourth quarter. He has 2 receptions for 13 yards. This is his first career game with less than 4 receptions, Sean. When you're not able to get your best player involved in the passing game, how much does that affect the offense?
Well, it's tough, but you got to realize that that's what they're doing defensively. Like, that's what Spags came in and said, look, you're not going to beat us with Malik Neighbors, all right? We're going to have a safety over the top. And yes, they saw 2 high safeties against Dallas, but those safeties were flat-footed and everybody was running by them. These safeties were not going to let anybody get behind them. So you could tell that the deep ball was being forced. Like, every time Russell Wilson threw the deep ball, it was a forced throw. He was trying to make something out of nothing, and that's why we saw the interceptions. So he was trying to force the ball, but this does go back down to, look, first down production helps out with your third down production. Right. But third down, you go 1 for 10, you're not going to win on any level.
Right.
I coach my son's 5th and 6th grade football team. Like, if we can't convert on third down, we're never going to keep moving the ball. We're not going to score points. And really, it's two-pronged, all right? Third down on offense, it's two-pronged in that, number one, we get rhythm and we keep going. Number two, you start wearing out the defense, all right? If you don't get a first down and you can't get them with their hands on their hips, that's what you're trying to get for. And what you're striving for offensively is get that defense tired. And if you're not converting third downs, that's not happening, and you're not going to be able to finish drives with points. But, look, this game was 9-6 at the end of the half with 2 interceptions.
Right.
2 turnovers ago, and your field goal kicker's out because he's hurt.
Yeah.
The game was there. Like, they had this game. It was ready to be won.
Within reach, and it's
a
a 4-point game at the half, and you got to be able to capitalize on that in that second half.
Grab that bull by the horns.
Instead, the final score is 22-9 in favor of the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football. Giants fans, come out and run the Giants Foundation 5K and Kids Run presented by Quest on Sunday, October 26th. Scan the QR code on your screen or visit giants.com/5K for details and to register to run alongside Giants legends like Sean O'Hara.
Let's do it.
Who's
Let's
going to
go.
be there?
Lace them
Carl,
up.
you running?
I might run home tonight. I'm fired up. I might just go for a jog right now just to get ready.
Fired up,
Go,
ready
Carl.
to go. All right, we got more to come here on
I'll
Giants
carry you.
Postgame Live, brought to you by Hackensack Meridian Health.
Good to see that guy back, though.
Look closely. You'll see the great outdoors and an SUV fully equipped to conquer it. A 4x4 designed to handle muddy trails and steep hills. Load up the gear and load up on adventure. The Ford Bronco SUV. It's time to see Ford in a new light. Right now, competitive owners can lease a Ford Bronco for $299 a month for 36 months, only at your local Ford stores.
Said if you're gonna play the game, boy, you gotta learn to play it right. You gotta know when to hold 'em. Pull 'em already.
Know when to fold 'em.
Know when to walk away.
Travel.
Know when to run. Run, run, run!
He's automatic from the 40.
You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done.
And now your Radical Airmen led by Peyton Manning.
Omaha!
They change course.
Peyton Manning?
They're going for the lead.
Anything for Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL.
I shouldn't have called that audible. Right. What?
Diana Florence knows what it takes to protect our city. For 30 years, she fought for justice and stood up for New Yorkers. As Assistant DA, Diana fought for survivors of violence and prosecuted corrupt corporations. As a mother, she understands the need to protect the people we love. As a prosecutor, she protected our communities. Now she's running for district attorney to restore safety, fairness, and justice to New York. Diana Florence, tough, proven, ready to restore justice.
Jerry Seinfeld is back.
You know, it's really fun to talk to this generation that has such a different perspective on comedy. We cannot hurt anyone's feelings. Okay, that's fine. That's a nice thought. But you are not going to laugh for the rest of your life. Just understand you're making that deal. I hope that's what you want.
Jerry Seinfeld, The Residency continues, starting this October at the Beacon Theater in New York City. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
Yeah, I was definitely rusty. It's been a while taking a live rep like that, but like I said, I was happy to be back out there.
Do you feel like you could have gone more physically, like aside from the plan? Like, did you feel like you were able to go more?
That's kind of what we discussed before, and regardless of how I felt, the game plan was to play that amount of snaps so I don't have any more setbacks. Yeah.
Andrew, for the time that you were in there, what part of your game came back the quickest and you felt good about, and what parts of your game do you still think didn't come back?
Yeah, I think I did a good job in the run game, communication with the guys around me, and I think there's some things in the past game I can tighten up to get my set back to where it was before.
Are you on track, you think, for a 4-game next week, or is it going to take a couple more weeks?
I'm not going to make any predictions. We'll see how it responds tomorrow, and we'll talk about the plan and see where we go from there. Yeah.
Offense needs to do to kind of be more consistent and get over the hump?
I would say just execution all the way around. It's a lot of plays that we leave on the field. One position group is doing well and the other one isn't. To have a good offense, all 11 have to execute, and that's what we got to work on.
Andrew, it appears from upstairs that Scatterbo really gives you guys an extra spark when he makes one of those physical plays. What's it like in the huddle, and what's it like when you see him on the field make a play like that? Is there really much of an impact?
No, you can tell Scat's a football guy. He just loves ball, and it shows in his play. And when you have a running back that runs like that, that gets the offensive line going for sure.
Thank you.
That sound from left tackle Andrew Thomas, brought to you by Ford, the official vehicle of the New York Football Giants. You guys, we saw this was Andrew Thomas's first start since week 6 of the 2024 season, where he suffered the Lisfranc injury that kept him out. He's been rehabbing. They've been working him back in. Sean, they know Dable said that, they had a plan to give him 25 plays. What did you see from him today?
Yeah, welcome back, Cotter. I mean, he looked great. Like, I didn't see any rust. He was talking about knocking the rust off. He looked darn good to me. I think the one thing that, when it is your first game, it's the hands, because the footwork is there. He's an unbelievable athlete, but it's just kind of getting the hands and making sure your hands are tight, making sure that you're punching in your pass sets. And I thought everything looked pretty good for a guy that hasn't played a snap in almost a year, really. I think it was smart that they went into the game saying, look, we don't care how you feel. We don't care how the game's going on. You're playing 25 snaps because this is a long-haul plan.
Yeah.
We don't want you going out playing 60 snaps, 65 snaps, and then now you're super sore, and now maybe you don't play next week. So it was smart that they had a plan like that. I think the fact that Marcus Bowe has played so well enabled them to stick with the plan. If all hell was breaking loose and guys were running through, then they might have felt like, hey, we got to keep you out there and we got to play a few more snaps. But I thought it was good. I think it was good for the whole group to have him back out there because Andrew Thomas is not a talker. He's a man of very few words, but he is a leader. Like, he's the captain. And when you have your guy out there, I know if I'm a quarterback and I walk in the huddle and I see AT over there, I'm like, okay, good. I know I got that side protected. I'm good. We can let him be one-on-one, and now we can chip and help.
And it's
with
good to
everybody
have,
else.
it's good to have that captain back out there. Coming back from an injury is a hard thing to do, even if it is in the middle of the game, like Graham Gano did. Let's send it down to the locker room and hear what the kicker has to say.
Wind's pretty good. I was in a lot of pain, for sure. But I still feel like I don't want to put the team in a harder spot, just not playing at all. So I tried to push through it, and they were definitely concerned, but I told them I could push through it and at least make from 40 and in. So that was the plan, and I'm glad I was able to go out there and get the field goal for us.
That first series, you're watching, you're seeing, and teams marching down, certainly in your field goal range. Is it kind of a sick feeling to know that
you're
for
not available
for this at this point?
100%. It's frustrating, especially with a pool. You can't control that, and that's. I remember somebody was asking me questions just this past week about it. Why am I feeling so good and everything, and then this happened. So it's frustrating, but I only control what I can from here on. So I'll try to do what the trainers and doctors are saying and get back as quick as possible.
40 and in was the range you were thinking of it?
Yeah, that was kind of. I went back to 45, and it was pushing it a little bit on my leg. So, but yeah, I was making everything from 40 and in, and the training staff did a great job, wrapping it and getting me ready to go.
That sound from Graham Gano, brought to you by Ford, the official vehicle of the New York Giants. Carl, when you hear the way Gano is talking about it, obviously got injured in pregame warmups, didn't play the first half, got warm in halftime and came out in the second half. As a player, how do you decide whether, me hurt is helpful or hurting the team getting on the field?
Well, it's just like a wide receiver with a hamstring or a running back with a hamstring. You either can or you can't, right? And there's really, when you have muscle pulls, there's really no in between. If he's got this range of motion, he knows he's going to be able to kick it from there. Don't ask him to do any more, and there's no guarantee that that's going to work. So I think he made a decision by halftime to see what he could actually do without ripping the thing off, and that's what you get. But see, this is the thing that if anything that could go wrong with this team, it's happening, but it's happening like, okay, it was a nail in the tire last week. This week, you got a leak in your oil, filter. The week before, the air conditioning wasn't working. So you're just patching up these little things. And the good news is, and no one wants to hear this, it's late, but it's early.
Yeah.
Right? So you're starting to see some building blocks in place. And yes, folks, we live in the now. So we don't worry about what happened in the preseason. We're living in the now. But if you're internal to that locker room, you see enough from your defense to say, we're getting things together. You see enough from your offensive run game to say, if we could just keep this going and fix the pass game.
Getting things together, but I know that this locker room and this coaching staff is very eager to get things together in the win column, as well as the Giants fall to the Chiefs 22-9 on Sunday Night Football. But after the break, we're going to hear from the quarterback. Russell Wilson heads to the podium. That and more on Giants Postgame Live, brought to you by Hackensack Meridian Health. Together, we can tackle kids' cancer.
Risk gets a bad rap. It punishes the unprepared. The game hits hard. But those who embrace risk and translate it know it isn't the opponent, it's the opportunity. At Moody's, we break risk down. We spot the shift, because the smartest play often comes down to seeing what others don't. Moody's, decode risk, unlock opportunity.
For thrills, for celebrations, for intimacy, for triumph. We all have reasons for wanting to be healthy. When you test with Quest, you and your doctor can track your health over time to reveal patterns. With the bigger picture, you can transform your future health. And that might be the most important reason of all. For all your reasons, Quest.
To test the toughness of the Kia Sorento X-Pro and the Kia Sorento Turbo Hybrid, we recreated some of the wettest springs, hottest summers, windiest falls, and coldest winters to prove these three-row SUVs were built for the unstoppable. Get 0% APR for up to 48 months, plus $1,000 retail bonus cash on the purchase of select new 2025 Sorento models.
When you donate to Tackle Kids Cancer at Hackensack Meridian Health, you're not just making a big difference, you're making a giant difference. That's why we're making a giant deal out of it.
It needs to be bigger, right?
100% of donations go to patients and their families.
Give this a spin.
Helping kids be kids. And no cause
Go deep.
is more giant than that.
Looking good.
Join me and Scan to tackle kids cancer today
It was bigger on the package.
Save big on furniture packed with innovative features during Raymore and Flanigan's Fall Smart Living Sale. Get up to $1,300 off sectionals, including the modular one by Drew and Jonathan Home, featuring a power console with wireless charging. Or take up to $500 off power sofas with motion options and removable swing tables. Plus, save on additional items with power lift, LED lighting, and more. Or enjoy flexible financing so you can buy now and pay later. Save big only at Raymore and Flanigan.
What's going on today?
They're filming a bunch of insurance commercials. So many mascots.
I don't need my insurance company to have one of those. I just want them to be there when I need them.
Hi, here's your imported nitrogen-infused water.
Bubbles are too big.
I went to film school for this.
At NJM, we don't do mascots. We do what's right when things go wrong. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM.
Yeah, I thought Scottaboo had a great game. He's battling. He did some really good plays. I think he made some really good plays on some of the scrambles and plays that we had to make. You know, he's got a great demeanor to him. I thought he did a really good job.
And the touchdown.
Yeah, he did a good job just getting out. I think the line did a great job, you know, run blocking on that one, and him getting in the end zone was a good play.
Russ, how frustrating is it now that there's 2 games you guys have not been able to get a touchdown through the air and just kind of get this offense going a little bit?
Yeah, I think it was obviously disappointing. You know, thought we had, you know, it was a close game. It was a battle all the way. You know, it was a tight game. And I think that, you know, we just needed 1 or 2 more plays. You know, obviously, you know, I want to play better, you know, for us and give us a better chance to win. You know, the throw down the middle to Wandell, you know, took a shot to him. They made a good play. And then, you know, right before the half, I was trying to give one-on-one to Malik, and they made a good play on it. So, you know, just try to give them a chance at it, and, you know, they did a good job.
What was it about their scheme that just made it so much challenging compared to last week? Because they played some similar safeties, you know, the way that they split.
Yeah, they're a good football team. You know, they're talented. They're coached well and everything else. But, you know, I think we just needed 1 big touchdown in that moment, you know, somewhere in there. Right? You know, we were hoping that we could get that right before half, and they made a good play.
Can you take us through that final 4th down, incomplete pass in the end zone at the end of the game?
Yeah, was trying to step up and get it to Theo, and just didn't really get to step into my throw the way I wanted it to. Tried to just give him a chance, and then the ball just kind of sailed on me, just trying to get it to him, but that was unfortunate.
That sound from Giants quarterback Russell Wilson, brought to you by Ford, the official vehicle of the New York Giants. As we take a look at these numbers, Sean, what sticks out is no touchdowns but 2 interceptions, uncharacteristic almost.
Yeah, especially after that explosion of points that we saw last week down in Dallas, and you know, Russ was cooking and he was lighting it up, and it seemed like he could do no wrong, you know, until the end of that game. But the 2 interceptions were really costly, and you know, you heard him talk about it. He broke it down. He was trying to hit Wandell over the middle. You know, a little misfire there. It was interesting. He said about the Neighbors interception, that the ball that he threw towards Neighbors was he was trying to get one-on-one coverage. That wasn't one-on-one coverage. So you could sometimes make a throw where it looks like one-on-one because you throw it away from the safety, but because they were kind of limited, because it was in the back of the end zone, he couldn't really put it as much air on it as he probably would have liked. So I felt like that was a forced throw. I think he probably knows it, which is why that's code word for I was trying to get one-on-one.
Yeah.
But look, he's trying, you know, and I mean, he's finding a way to try to get the ball down the field and give his receivers a chance. That's what every receiver wants.
Right.
Is just give me a shot to try to make a play, and I'll make you look good. It didn't happen tonight, though.
And a lot of times Malik Neighbors has the talent to make him look good and make that play. Just didn't work out that way, and it came up an interception. All right, we've got more to come here as we continue to break this one down on Sunday Night Football. But first, I want to remind you guys, Giants fans, download the all-new Giants mobile app for breaking news, exclusive videos, Giants shorts, and The Pocket, the Giants mobile app available at the App Store or Google Play. We got much more to come here on Giants Postgame Live, brought to you by Hackensack Meridian Health. Together, we'll tackle kids' cancer like Cam Scattaboo tackled that backflip.
Giants fans, don't flip out.
Look closely at this truck. You'll see hard work, a great adventure, and so much more. Inside and out, it's designed for the family, the road trip, and the most demanding job, the Ford F-150. It's time to see Ford in a new light. Right now, returning lessees can lease a Ford F-150 for $319 a month for 36 months, only at your local Ford stores.
When you make your dip super creamy with almonds, your new boyfriend can know nothing about football.
Oh, he touched it down. Bro, that's the other team.
And still fit in just fine.
Have you tried the dip?
Oh, great fumble. Great fumble.
That's a Hail Mayo.
Progress. It can be fast. It can be slow. It can be disruptive. But one thing it can't be is stopped. While progress might seem inevitable, breakthroughs come from supercharging it. Delivering business outcomes at scale, fulfilling aspirations with compassion, innovating responsibly. Whether it's day-to-day success or transformational gains, we supercharge progress to change the game.
Act now to get $7,500 EV lease incentive. Current lessees of an eligible competitive luxury brand vehicle get this low mileage lease on this Optic Luxury One for around $449 per month.
Watch and learn.
Put the gun down!
You understand how dangerous this is, becoming an informant.
They are twisting everything.
Whatever we do, we should do it with attitude.
Giants football is on the air.
From the start, the Giants got the offense going, the defense going.
They played lights out.
What a play, the Giants.
This team is going in the right direction.
Welcome into Giants postgame.
Touchdown, neighbor.
We know who we are, who we have in the locker room. We just got to keep battling.
Finally slammed down by Dexter Lawrence.
Every week they go in and they give everything they got.
Impact plays, folks. It makes you want to go out there and put pads on yourself.
Touchdown.
That was a fun second half. Thriller indeed. Time now for our HCL Player of the Game. HCL Tech supercharging progress, the official digital transformation partner of the New York Football Giants. Our Player of the Game on Sunday Night Football is the rookie running back Cam Scatterbo, getting it going in the run game with that physicality and a trusted weapon for Russell Wilson in the receiving game. Ran in a 13-yard touchdown, his second career touchdown in his young NFL career. Hit him with a backflip right there. As we take a look at his numbers on Sunday Night Football, 6 rushing yards, touchdown, and 6 receptions for 61 yards. Cam Scatterbo is now speaking in the locker room. Let's take a listen.
We struggled when it mattered the most, but I think we have a bright future ahead of us. I see the offense and what we have in this offense, and I'm excited to see it rolling. They're getting me rolling a little bit, and then all these other guys, like, we got talent on this team, and once we get this thing rolling, it's gonna be a scary sight.
How difficult was it to go in at halftime down 9-6? It was 6-6. Then they get the big penalty and they get that field goal. Is that a big deflation thing for you guys when you come into the locker room?
Yeah, no, not really. I mean, we got to look at it as 0-0. Go back out there and play our game, and just score points. I mean, that's our job as an offense. We just got to score points. That's it. So coming in 9-6, like that's a hope thing for us. Our defense has held them to 3 field goals. Like, we got hope, So, I'm excited to see what we got in the future, and we got to get this thing rolling and keep going.
Spags is a terrific defensive coordinator, does a lot of blitzing, a lot of run blitzing too. So as a rookie, what do you learn from a game like this, going up against a master DC like him?
Yeah, I mean, he was great. He had disguises that I've never seen before, and it looked like there was 9 guys coming in the gaps, and nobody came. So it's definitely a difference, but we have our keys and our assignments, and we know where to be at. We study all week for that, so we just got to continue to do our thing.
Cam, appreciate your time.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
That sound from Giants running back Cam Scatterby, brought to you by Ford, the official vehicle of the New York Football Giants, as we take a look at a running back comparison between Scat and Isaiah Pacheco. Each with 10 carries, Scat 60 yards on the ground. He also added 61 in the receiving game, becoming the first rookie to have 60-plus rushing and receiving in his first career home game. More to come here on Giants Postgame Live, brought to you by Hackensack Meridian Health.
Look closely. You'll see the great outdoors and an SUV fully equipped to conquer it. A 4x4 designed to handle muddy trails and steep hills. Load up the gear and load up on adventure. The Ford Bronco SUV. It's time to see Ford in a new light. Right now, competitive owners can lease a Ford Bronco for $299 a month for 36 months, only at your local Ford stores.
Risk gets a bad rap. It punishes the unprepared. The game hits hard. But those who embrace risk and translate it know it isn't the opponent, it's the opportunity. At Moody's, we break risk down. We spot the shift, because the smartest play often comes down to seeing what others don't. Moody's, decode risk, unlock opportunity.
Said if you're gonna play the game, boy, you gotta learn to play it right. You gotta know when to hold 'em. Pull 'em already.
Know when to fold 'em.
Know when to walk away.
Travel. Know when to run. Run, run, run!
He's automatic from the 40.
You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done.
Any further thoughts?
I think I need to do more with my money. Should I still be renting?
I live with my mom.
How much should I save for my kids' tuition?
What kids?
How early is early retirement? How much is in your 401k?
All my money's in checking.
What does the K stand for?
Ben, what's on your mind?
Could I be doing more with my money?
Let's look at where you're at and talk new goals.
Make sense of your money with Citizens.
There are 61 million Marias in the world, and no two function the same. Some age freely, some move imperfectly, and some think
It's probably low iron.
some can do equations in their sleep, and some can't stay awake. 61 million Marias, who all deserve answers, just as unique as they are.
Fall in New York State is unforgettable. From breathtaking views in every hue to adventure around every corner. It's the perfect place to get away. But don't just take our word for it. Come and see it for yourself. New York State, everything you love. Plan your next trip at iloveny.com.
Welcome back to Giants Postgame Live, brought to you by Hackensack Meridian Health. Together, we can tackle kids' cancer. Week 3 is in the rearview mirror, Sean O'Hara. So let's look ahead to Week 4, the next game right back here at MetLife Stadium, as the New York Giants host the Los Angeles Chargers. A 1 p.m. kickoff Sunday, September 28th. The Chargers are 3-0, and they've got quite the dynamic offense, Sean.
Yeah, they're humming right now offensively. And Justin Herbert, look, he just lit up the Denver Broncos for 300 yards in the air. He did get sacked 5 times in that game, but you know when you're playing a Jim Harbaugh coach team, look, they are going to be physical up front. They want to build everything off the run game. They lost Najee Harris to an Achilles injury, so obviously that's going to be somebody new in the backfield for him. But this offense, look, they're productive, and Herbert can run too, so it's another athletic quarterback. Nothing new for them. And then, look, defensively, Derwin James is like Superman out there. I mean, he's all over the field. He's down at the line of scrimmage. He's back in coverage. So they're going to have their hands full on both sides of the ball.
Well, and as you mentioned, too, Najee Harris going down with a season-ending Achilles injury. The rookie, Omarion Hampton, out of North Carolina, stepping up, getting 70 yards on the ground. The run game has been a struggle for the Giants to defend. How did they shore up that aspect of the game?
Yeah, listen, I think they got to continue with the tackling. You know, that's been an issue. You can't miss tackles against these guys. They're, you know, he's a rookie, but he's a tough runner. Keenan Allen's kind of been his go-to guy. So that's a guy that they're going to really have to have sticky coverage on. He's got 3 touchdowns already.
Got to tackle him, and that's what we hope to see. Week 4, Sunday, September 28th. We'll be here right after that one for more Giants Postgame Live. For Sean O'Hara, I'm Madeline Burke. Thanks for hanging with us. Giants Postgame Live brought to you by Hackensack Meridian Health. Together, we can tackle kids' cancer.
And welcome to New Jersey Devils hockey, and it's brought to you by RWJ Barnabas Health.